and welcome to Rendered. This is the show where we delve into our pencil cases and fire up our tablets to give you the info on everything art. I'm your host, Karis King.
And I'm Mark Spencer. On today's show,
we meet up with Jessica to see the magic that takes place inside the dark room.
We review the latest trendy apps for this month.
And joining us in the studio, our special guest, Dan Styler, will be giving us some cool tips that you do not want to miss.
Now, here's a fun fact for you. Did you know the first digital camera was invented in 1975? It took 23 seconds to take a photo.
Interesting. Why don't we take one now?
Okay.
Cheese!
We're able to upload photos on almost every media site, but it hasn't always been that way, oh no.
Before digital cameras and smartphones, film was used to capture our images.
But how did we physically get the photos in our hands?
We sent Jessica to see what goes on in the dark room.
Hi, today I'll be showing you how to develop your own black and white film and giving you tips on how to do it at home. First of all, check how long the film needs to be developed for, as different brands of film vary in time. For this, I used Kodak. Make sure the equipment is ready to use in a place where you can find it in the dark. Begin by turning the lights off and opening the film canister, which you can do using a bottle opener. Feed the film through the spool. Make sure you do this carefully until the film is wrapped around fully. Place the spool on the tube and then fit it into the developer tub, like so. Place the funnel into the developer tub. This blocks out any light getting to the film. Pour the developer into the tub until the developer fills to the top of the hole. Set the time to 1 minute and agitate the tub by tipping it side to side. After every 4 shakes, make sure to tap it on a solid surface. This gets rid of any bubbles on the film. Repeat this with the stop bath and the fixer, making sure that you set the stop bath for 1 minute and the fixer for 5 and the wash, which is water, for 20. Once this is done, you'll be ready to use the wetting agent to develop the film. Take your film off the spool by holding the end and pulling the film. Use pegs to hang up the film to dry. Once dry, cut up your film to whatever lengths you like. Then your process is complete.
Wasn't that fascinating? I might break out my parents' old camera and give it a go.
If you fancy doing the same as Mark here, follow us and post your black and white photos on our Twitter page. The link is at the bottom of the screen. Anyway, out with the old and in with the new. Nowadays, we take photos of almost everything, even our food. And some of us document our whole lives through Instagram.
But with so many new apps on the market, what's good and what is plain awful?
Mark and I have a couple of apps with us in the studio here today.
So first, let's look at Instagram.
Instagram It's great on so many levels. You can hashtag your friends and family in your photos and they'll never miss an update. You can even follow celebrities, and many shows have behind-the-scenes stuff for you to watch and view funny pictures. And it's just basically a really good way to interact.
Yeah, it's cool. I watch Blue Peter and I can always find cool stuff on their accounts. It's great that so many amateur photographers use this because of the filters and effects you can get with this app. I love it.
Don't forget to look us up on our Instagram, Twitter, following the links at the bottom of the screen.
But do you know what's in trend right now?
What?
Art Rage. It's fantastic. You can get it for your iPad or your iPhone, costing £1.49. Well, I think it's worth it. You see a lot of apps these days that are free, but this app enables you to get creative with the whole package of brushes and colours. Have a look at some of the work people have done using this app.
Some of these look great, and thank you so much for sending them in to us, guys. You can see just how much detail you can go into on this, and I agree, Mark, it's a good buy for any budding artist.
Something else you might want to check out is Autodesk Sketchbook, available via the Apple App Store. Let's take a look at some of the work you guys have sent in to us.
Oh, they are amazing. Love it that most of them are drawings from TV shows. You can tell that this app is much more for creating animations and for drawing in general.
Yeah, a lot more detail goes into Art Rage, so it's a lot more of a serious professional app for you guys out there to use. Send us your artwork from either or both incredible apps and you might get to feature on our walls back here.
Well, I will definitely download that when I get home. Now, have you ever wondered about studying animation as a degree?
Well, we met up with Dan Styler from Portsmouth University to give you a flavour of what you might expect. It's time to meet the professionals.
I'm Dan Styler. I'm a third year BA animation student and I study advanced 2D animation. I started animating from an early age because I used to watch loads of films and get really annoyed with the fact that they didn't turn out the way that I wanted them to. I decided I was going to go in and re-edit those films, and I went in and I'd redraw them, but about 10 frames per second, so they were really rubbish. And I came to the university and met some of the staff that said, are you more interested in telling a story through static image, or are you more interested in telling a story through live image? And I picked live image and I've not looked back since. I just keep going and hope I do the right thing at the right time. It seems to be working out pretty well. That's one just short scene that will then cut. So it will start off rough. After the rough stage, it will start like that. And then when they're hopefully all clean, they'll look more like this. At the moment I'm working on my final major film, which is a bit controversial and still in some rough patches of development. It's a little bit strange because I didn't want to focus it on a nationality, a culture or a certain environment. Due to the fact that it's only 3 minutes, I don't think you could get a lot of stuff conveyed through character reaction and speech, and it would dull it down. So I worked on a sci-fi film to back up my skill set, to put in my show reel. And it's more steampunk sci-fi, but it's got motifs that are universal so that everybody can understand them, which are good versus evil, right and wrong, you know, love and darkness. Outside the university I do a lot of personal projects, so I take inspiration from my favourite genre, which is sci-fi fantasy, because I don't think there's a lot of subversive sci-fi fantasy. So I take that and I'll make my own sort of version of it, but I usually use my technique that I've got and go in and teach other students to do it. So I go to secondary schools and teach animation to them, because I think when they're at a young age, they're the right sort of mentality to cherry pick and get their imaginations to explode, and they seem to respond really well to it. And I think the best advice that you can give is that fundamental art plays a more crucial part in animation than people think. It's more life drawing and drawing skills than animating, and once you've got that down, you can do anything you want, and there's literally no limit, because unless you're working for a company, you've got no budget apart from a pack of pencils as to how far you can go, no special effects budget. You can do anything you like within your world, so it's really free. So I'd always inspire people to think outside the box, think big, don't think small, and always remember that the fundamentals are more important than just animating. Nothing just happens, you can't just do that and it goes. So you've got to remember that it comes from traditional stuff.
That artwork looked amazing. Well, we have Dan Styler in the studio today to recreate one of the characters from his film.
Thank you. Yeah, as you said in that VT, I worked on a lot of subversive sci-fi animation characters.
Okay.
And I think it's important, as Keris was saying, that those apps that you can download like ArtRage are really important for animators because you allow the freedom, as you can see in this image. I'll take you through step by step how you create it.
Please do.
And it's a lot different to how people usually expect animation to be done. They expect it to be a crisp image straight away, which is completely wrong. The same process you go through as making a TV program, making a video, you do with animation. So you will storyboard and mind map everything you're going to do. So you'll take your stereotypes of older, beard for wizards, so it's quite general, but you can start with 2 ground shapes from there, so you can have the softer or harsher.
Okay.
And then your maths comes in and you use it in quads, so you can separate the face into details.
So 4 different sections for each shape.
4 different sections,
okay,
so you can animate it to the left and the right and the upper and the lower.
All right.
And then you'll bring in more shapes, so circles for the eyes, triangles for the beards, squares for the other eye, to give it the feel that you want. But by doing this, if I do them again, you can play with those shapes, which is quite important, which is what Disney does.
All right.
And always keep rough, never try and aim for a finished product
Never
very
perfect.
quickly. Never
Okay,
perfect.
never perfect.
Because you've got to replicate this 24 times per second.
That's a lot of times.
And so you can have a shape like that, which is more generic, and he'll have a certain feel to him, and give him his little beard. Or you can make him more angular and see what we can do with him if we were going to make him evil, and see if we can make this.
So how would you make him evil?
You can angulate your shapes more, so
Right.
like knife point, you know, you give him a long beard, which they did a lot in Star Wars for characters.
Similar to triangles.
Yeah, you know, and it influences the mind for a pre-existing motif, so sharp blades. And anything villainous, you'll find that Disney, George Lucas, filmmakers do it, and it's subtle in live action and exaggerated in animation, but anyone can follow this process at home as long as you've got light and the will to do it. And those apps are more important now because everybody's moved from this stage to more technological, advanced stages.
Rather than doing it manually.
Yeah, so I'd encourage anybody to have a go in. It's really that simple, just keeping loose it.
Thank you for coming into the
You're
studio
welcome.
today, Dan. Now, however, it's time to have a look at some of the work you have been producing. It's Pick of the Day.
So this first image we've got here, this was sent in by Annie, age 13, and she's created this amazing image using Photoshop. So thanks, Annie. And this second image coming up is Daniel, age 14, and he sent us some of his darkroom enlargements. And yeah, I think these are great. So thank you, Daniel. And our third image was sent in by Poppy and some of her friends, all age 15, and they've sent us an incredible collection of all of their Instagram photos. So yeah, cool pics. And our last image was sent in by Kate, age 10, and she's made a poster inspired by the 1920s with a bit of help from her mum, and yeah, doesn't that look fantastic? So well done, Kate. Make sure you all keep sending in your pictures and they'll be featured in our next show. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. Remember to keep on sending us your Pick of the Day work, and perhaps you will feature on next week's show.
Next week, we will be exploring Andy Warhol and his pop art creations.
We will be showing you how to recreate your own very own stop-motion films.
And we will delve into your work and choose our next Pick of the Day.
For more on today's show, find us on our website and follow us on Twitter.
We'll see you next week on
Rendered!